Hi, this is Mark. Welcome back for another short tutorial. This time, we're going to create a simple network using Packet Tracer. Now, the simple network that we're going to create is a building with 3 floors, and assuming that we have computers in each floor. So for the meantime, our small network will have 5 computers for each floor. And the task that we need to do is we're going to connect all these computers, be connected into that one network. So at the end, we're going to test that each computers will be able to communicate from first floor to third floor, or third to second, or second to first, and vice versa. To start with, let's create 3 switches, of which each switch will represent the floor. So let's label this. So let us label this as first floor. This one is second floor. And this is third floor. And then we're going to put some computers, 5 computers for each floors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically, what's gonna happen is all these 5 computers will be connected to this one, then another 5 to this, and then another 5 to this. And then we're going to connect all these 3 switches. Okay? So as you can remember on our previous lesson, if you have a computer to a switch, what kind of connection you're gonna use? It's going to be a straight through connection. But if you use a connection from same device, let's say for example, switch to switch, what do you think will it be? It's going to be a crossover. Okay, so let's connect this first, but I think we need to label this so that we can copy paste it later. So let's have 192.168.1.10 or 11. So if you notice, we always use the 192.168. That's something because uh, by default, or we always assume in our setup, we're going to use the class C. Okay, class C IP addresses. So that's pretty standard that we use 192.168. That's something. Okay. So, and another thing is that in a simple network, say for example, the same kind of network, that means we're going to use the one network. So pretty much we're going to use the one for all the IP address for all the computers. Okay, so uh, to avoid confusion, what I'm going to use for the naming, for the addressing, is that I'm going to use the dot dot 11, dot 12, dot 13, dot 14, dot 15. And then for the second floor, 1 dot 21, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. For the third, dot 31, dot 32, dot 33. Okay, so that's for me. So if you're going to, to do this on your own, also it's up to you. I will not limit you as to what IP addressing, IP address you're going to use, for as long as you stick with the rule. Okay, so we're going to use the same dot something. So if you use dot 2, so you're going to use the 192.168.2, so we're going to use that dot 2 for all the IP addresses, because this is just a simple network and we're going to connect them. We're going to connect them. Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna copy paste this. This, by the way, this is just a labeling, so it won't really. This is not yet the configuration, so this is just the label, so that later when we do the IP addresses, it's going to be already um, we will be guided into putting the IP addresses. So you make it. It's a best practice if you always do the labeling and then do the configuration later on. I think this is supposed to be 15. So this is going to be 15 there. So next is we're going to put now the configuration, the IP addresses. So you can either do that using desktop, or you can also use the config. You can change it directly here. Okay, so as you can see here, there are two modes, DHCP and static. The one that we use is we're naming the IP addresses, putting the IP addresses onto each computer one by one. So what we're using actually is static. Okay, so I'm gonna use the desktop utility. So IP configuration here. I'm just gonna follow this. So that's 192.168.1.11. And then you click on the subnet mask auto populated. Later on we're going to discuss what subnet mask is. So to give you a quick overview what subnet mask is, it's just telling us which part of the IP address is the network address and which part is the host address. Now for this one, the 255.255.255, this part here, the first octet, second octet, and the third octet is the network address, and the 0 part is the host address. Okay, we're going to discuss that later. For the default gateway, we don't need to input that because we're not using a router yet. Okay, so let's just leave it blank, and then we proceed to the next computer. Same. So this one is going to be dot 2, right? Dot 12, sorry. And then close. And then again, IP address. This is going to be dot 13, right? Click, close. This is 14. Then 15. Okay, so let's connect them already to the switch of the first floor. So we're going to use the straight through cable. So we're just going to follow this. I'm going to use the one. Sorry, should be connecting here. Well, it doesn't really matter, but for as long as you know where you connected it. So for reference sake, we're going to use 2 with the 2 or the 12, 3 with the 13, the 4 with the 14, and the 5 with the 15. So let's check. Again, how do we use the checking or test if the connection is okay? We use the ping command in the, say for example, we're going to test the dot 1.11 to the 1.12. So you click on the 1.11 and then command prompt. So what do you do? One ping and then the IP address of the other terminal at 168.1.12. So you have a connection. So how about for the other one? That's 13, right? Okay, we have reply. How about 14? We have also a reply, and the 15, we also have a reply. So we have a connection. Okay, so now we're going to do the same on the second floor. So for us to do this faster, I'm just going to copy paste, Control C, Control V here. So I'm just gonna rename this to, let's start here. Here, let's just start here. So this is 25. Then also we need to change the IP address. This is 25 already. Okay. The next one is we need to change the label first. Before, and then the IP address, change it to 24. And then for this one, 23. And then the IP address, and then the 22. Change this IP address to 22. And then sorry, 21. And change also the IP address to 20. So we're now going to connect these computers to this computer. So let's try to move this loop here. Then we'll have the printer third floor, second floor. Just have it this way, because later we're going to connect all these 3 switches. Now it's time to connect these 3 straight to, this is 25. Oh, sorry. So there's no 25. I'd rather use, start with 10. 15, so let's have this as 16. Doesn't matter where you connect it again, for as long as you know where you connected it. For you to check it, you can just highlight on the dot, and then you see there the FA03, that means it's port 3 to port 0 of this computer. Okay, let's have that clearer. Okay, so say for example for that is port 5 connected to port 0 here. Okay, so for this one, you're connected to port 0 to port 16 of the switch. Okay, you can just hover over the connection, and then you'll be able to check which connection you are connected to. So since we started with 16, let's have the 17, 18, 19, 20. 16, 17, 18, 19, and then 20. Okay, so we have that covered, and then we'll also do it here to the third floor. So just copy paste it here, then organize it later. So let's have this as 31. We'll test the others later. 31. Then let's change the IP address. Okay. Then for this 32, and then for this one 33, and 34, and 35. Did you change this already here? Okay, just change it already. Check. Let's just check in. So this one is going to be 35, and this is the okay. Let's put them in better view here. Now we're going to connect straight through. So let's 20 is used 20, 21, 22, 23. So that still fits. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that still fits here. So for 20 to 31, 20, 21, 22, 23, and 24. There. So let's just wait for it to turn into green. So let's connect. Let's try checking this network here. So again, how do you check it? You can check it in command prompt and then type ping 192. We are now using the 192.168.1. The 21, so we're going to ping the 22, 23, 24, 25. So you may start with 24 or you may start with 25 and then ping the other computers. It's up to you. Okay, just testing it from one computer to the other. 192.168.1.23. Okay, good. We have a connection 23. Also have a connection 24. And finally 25. So we're now going to connect. So we're good with that. And then next is we're going to test this also. So I started with 35. Again, command prompt ping 192.168.1.34. I'm going down, so good. I have a reply 33. I have a reply also 32, and finally is 31. Okay, so good. That's good. Now we're going to connect. So how are we going to connect the third floor to the second floor and the first floor? So we can connect this using, of course, the available ports. So let's say, for example, first floor to second floor. So again, we're not going to use the straight through because it's the same kind of device. Rather, we're going to use the cross over. So let's use the port 6 for this, and then port 6 also of this. Let's wait, and then let's try to check if we have connection from this computer to this computer here. Let's wait for this to turn green. Okay, it's now green, so let's try pinging it. Using 15 across the network or across the floor. 15, I'm going to ping 21. So command prompt ping. I'm now in 15, 192, first floor. State that one that I'm going to ping 21. Let's see. There. So we're connected to the second floor. And how about the 22? Still connected, right? And 25. There. So next is we're going to connect. So imagine that this is from the first floor and then going up to the second floor, then going up to the third floor. So which logical switch would you connect? From the first floor to third floor or second floor to third floor? Of course, the nearest one is the second floor. You wouldn't want to waste your wire, your cable to connect from first floor to third floor because second floor is nearer to the third floor. So now again, we're going to use the crossover because we're connecting the same kind of device, which is a switch to switch. Crossover, and then let's use the 6. Anyway, any port actually you can use it. So let's have 7, port 7, and then port 7 also for this one. So you may use fast Ethernet 1 for as long as it is. Of course, the ones that appears here are the ones that are available. So we use the 7, we use also the 7. But you can also use the other ports because those ports are available. Okay, so we're just waiting for it to turn green, and then we're going to test connection from this floor to this floor and third floor to the first floor. Okay, so we're going to connect now and check. So let's have the 21 and ping it to the third floor, the second floor to the third floor. So command prompt, sorry, I'm going to ping now the 35, 34, 33. 35, third floor. So this is from second floor to third floor. Oh, there. So reply 34. We also have a reply 33. Okay, so how about from first floor to third floor? So, or from third floor to first floor, let's have that. So, let's say, for example, this 33. So, we're going to send a ping command to the first floor, from the third floor to the first floor. So, ping 192.168.1.50. Okay, it's connected. 14, 13. Okay, so there you go. So we have a successful connection from first floor to second and to third floor. So in the future, if you're asked by somebody to set up a network with just a simple network, okay, without any other configuration, you just use one type of network. For this example, we have which network are we using? We're using the WAN network. One for the third floor, one for the first floor, and one for the second floor. Okay, so if That's the kind of configuration that is asked of you, so it's very easy to set up. But uh, if the setup is going to be configured in a way that there will be security from one floor to another and to the other floors, we will now have to modify the configuration. Okay, so for this session, we'll just have this simple network. Okay, so with that, I'd like to thank you for listening. Please stay tuned for the next videos. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.